Okay, so
Okay.
thanks for doing this for a start.
It's a pleasure.
My first question is, when you come back to UEA, you're like the most famous person to come out of here. Do you feel there's a pressure when you talk to creative writing students to give them pearls of wisdom to follow how successful you become?
Well, I always like coming back. In fact, my whole life seems to unravel along the railway line, because I went to boarding school near Ipswich, and when the train comes past Manningtree and those muddy flats, there's some sort of sinking feeling. It's the beginning of term, my parents are 2,000 miles away in Africa, and then it lightens as I come here, because I had such a great time here. I had a lot of fun in my year 1970. I don't feel much pressure, actually. I feel sort of as if all of a sudden I'm still here, as if I've never left, because I come most years, sometimes 2 or 3 times. And talking to the MA group is so much like being back here, back in time. But, no, it doesn't feel like pressure at all. Every writer I know, and I know a lot of writers, has been here to read. I mean, from across the States and around the world.
Like, what I've read is that most critics think that American fiction is the best at the minute. Do you agree with that, or do you think?
I think it has been. I think the second half of the 20th century was definitely the age of the American novel, and still some great writing comes out of it. So, but it raises everyone's game. So so if Americans win, it's great. It's fine. Let them all in.
Do you think it has an effect, winning or just being nominated, or literary prizes in general? Winning
has a huge effect especially if you're young and not very well known. Richard Flanagan, for example, whose work I've admired for years, was hitting really the buffers, and in his career he was thinking of going to work down a mine. He'd been offered some lucrative work as a miner. Now, of course, he's a planetary celebrity. So no, it makes it huge. It can make a huge difference.
In terms of your own writing, you're now taught at A-level and in institutions like this. Do you find that's changed your approach, in that you can be people's first introduction to literature?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that. It's wonderful to be read, of course, by more and more people. At the same time, I worry about people being forced to read me. So I'm a little ambivalent on that.
Do you think they pick the right texts of yours to teach? Enduring Love, Chesil Beach?
Well, it's loads. It's Enduring Love, Chesil Beach, Atonement. Depends on which examination board you're with, but nearly everything I've written in the last 20 years. Child in Time is now being used. And I do meet a lot of A-level students in signing queues and things. But that's a self-selecting group. Those are the ones who've liked it.
Yeah. Who are you currently reading?
I'm reading Gone Girl. A nice, brilliant potboiler. It's actually very good.
In terms of Gone Girl, you said that's just been adapted as well. Have you seen that? Do you watch adaptations of other books that you've read, or?
I probably watch it on DVD when it comes out. I wouldn't sort of. If I've read the novel, I don't really need to see a movie.
Yeah.
No, as I was saying just now to the MA students, I always think of the novel as a visual form. I think of people as visual creatures we are. So it's our strongest sense. The key to laying out a good scene, an important scene in a novel, is to get the visual details correctly. I've written the screenplay on Chesil Beach, but we haven't been able to get funding for that as yet. I'll probably do the new one, Children Act.
Do you think any of your works could never be adapted?
Certainly my early work, so dark. And people have made screenplays and shot scenes from Proust, from Joyce's Ulysses, so if they can do that, do anything.
Do you, in terms of your own adaptations as well, do you have much say in what goes in?
Yes. Either I do the screenplay, in which case I have a lot of say, or I make myself an executive producer, and at least pitch in with it. But there comes a moment where you really have to just back off. Once it goes into prepping, in pre-production, all the big decisions are made, and you really don't want to be lurking around as the bad conscience of the project, saying it's not like this really in my novel. You have to just let director of photography and the actors just make what they are going to make.